Alright, here we are for yet another booster draft. Well, we got a few things to look at here. We got a Mythic that's pretty bad. Triumph of the Hordes, which is one of the better Infect cards, and Infect's not, or Green's not drafted highly here, so Glistener Elf could easily table. Wing Splicer, Blinding Soul Eater, and Guess Verdict. I'm tempted to just take the Triumph and go for the Infect strategy, since I think it would go something like, if I take Triumph, Wing Splicer, Blinding Soul Eater's going next, Guess Verdict's going next, and maybe like the Talisman, Tanadon, Monstrosity. I think I'm going to get the Elf back. As I said, I think it's just so underdrafted in the first pack. I haven't been that impressed with Triumph as much as I thought I would, so maybe this is kind of folly to take this now. But I don't think it's awful, and it can definitely win games, so I'm going to scoop it up and hope to win with the Glistener Elf. Well, it looks like they took an uncommon here. So they passed basically Grim Affliction, Glistener Scorn, and Legionnaire. We just passed a pack that they probably took like Blinding Soul Eater out of. So if we pass the Legionnaire, that really kind of cements them in the whitish Metalcraft archetype. We could have, there could be an argument for just taking Scorn here, following up the green card. But generally when I'm playing Infect, I'd rather be black-green than be green-blue, green-white, anything like that. And I think Grim Affliction is just powerful enough over Glistener Scorn that it's worth taking at the moment. And again, since green is relatively undrafted sometimes, albeit rarely, Glistener Scorn might table here. I think it's going to be pretty rare because this pack's not entirely deep. There's only like those three that are that good, and then Blind Zealot. Yeah, but anyway, we're taking the Affliction, and we're just going to try the Infect strategy. This pack, kind of weak overall. Again, for Ship and Force Warship, Vapor Snag, they're probably going to be looking at the Metalcraft. Wing Splicer was their type strategy. So hopefully the people on the left are drafting like blue-white. I think Death's Head Cobra is the best card here. He's not a horrible card in Infect because he does provide solid defense, and he's not bad with Triumph of the Horde since he's actually just another body that might be able to finish them off later when he gets Infect. Betrayers, often be able to get those last if we need them. So yeah, right here, definitely best to just go ahead and take the Death's Head Cobra, I think, for our deck in question. I mean, I could always audible to something else, like taking the Vapor Snag and going blue-black, but there's definitely no reason to think that I should be doing something like that. Well, looks like if we had gone the Blinding Soul Eater route, looks like we would have had quite a decent artifact deck going, or a mono-white deck going. Right here, though, I think Glistener Elf's fine. I mean, I don't like Mycosynth thing. Actually, it could be pretty good with Triumph of the Hordes. I guess he gets countered. No, he just gets +1/+1 for each poison counter. Okay, so he can't get bigger from Proliferate. But he's definitely not the pick. I'm just going to go ahead and take the Elf and just keep following our strategy that we have right here. While Elf isn't that great compared to these other cards that this I have a pick, like he fits fine in our deck and our curve. So he's definitely the pick for us. Wow, and if there's an Artillerize left in the pack. Well, White-Red would have definitely been the deck for us. I think I might, like, it's either taking the Artillerize or the Wellspring. I'm just debating taking Artillerize here. Like, if somehow we get a Wellspring in the next two packs, it goes well with the Artillerize. Meaning that we could probably splash it or another red card if need be. We saw a Razor Swine, that might table. We might get something like Ogre Menial last, so I could see us maybe somehow moving into a green-red Infect deck that just runs Triumph. It's possible. I think Artillerize is that much better than Mycosynth Wellspring, and you don't really like running Wellspring that much in a straight-up black-green Infect because of your curve. Spinebiter is great to get this pick. Gosh, the white-red deck would have been amazing too if we went the other route. Seeing another Suture Priest at the moment. But Spinebiter is a fine card for us to grab. And kind of another finisher. I'm not unhappy to be getting that this late. We would have had 3 Suture Priests. That's the other route. You know, Corrosive Gale. We could be taking Corrosive Gale right here if we don't have a lot of flyers. It could be an interesting sideboard card, though there was another in the draft, so there is one coming late. I might just go ahead and like take the Volt Scourge here, since it's possibly usable. Provides, you know, it's a blocker for like Plague Stinger. Provides defense against opposing Plague Stingers, or opposing early drops, and can get some health back, and fly over with Triumph later. So I think that's a better call than the Hurricane type card. Though the Hurricane type card could definitely be a decent sideboard. This is a very late Guess Verdict. Hex Parasite and Despise, both are not awful, but definitely not as strong as Guess Verdict. We're happy to see that late. It's interesting that we had a pack where we just had to take an Artillerize when we're seeing stuff like Spinebiter late and then Guess Verdict. So hopefully that means we're going to wheel, our Glistener Elf, because if we saw Spinebiter late, there's probably nobody going for a green strategy yet. We did not get the Gliss's Scorn. I've once seen this card be really good in a Golem deck when it was triple new Phyrexia draft, and the guy, all he had was Splicers and played Xenograft and then had a billion Golems. Here, I think I might just take the Shrine as a sideboard card against the control deck. I mean, I don't... yeah, we'll just hate the Soul Eater. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Scorn back. That was in, I think, the Shrine pack. Not the end of the world, though. You remember we did get a Grim Affliction from that pack. Oh, Gitaxian Probe's fine. Might even end up playing it. I mean, I'm not unhappy with this deck. I think the Red-White Artifact deck, like, as I said, I kind of just like trying out Triumph Words still. I haven't been incredibly impressed with it, so maybe just taking Blinding Soul Eater and going from there would have been better. We would have had like 3 Suture Priests, the Soul Eater, the Artillerized, but you never know what you're going to get past. And as I said, I'm not unhappy with this. Like, maybe taking Wellspring over Artillerized is a better bet, but I think taking the Artillerized is better, since, for the reasons I described before, like, if I'm going to be playing green-red, it would be a lot easier to splash if I get a Wellspring in the next few packs, and Wellspring's just not that good of a card in an actual green-black infect deck. Wow. We open a Rebirth. I mean, Wrath isn't amazing in Limited, but it is incredibly strong, especially when it puts a giant creature on the board on your side. I'm trying to think if we want to take the Violent Wound or the Plague Mirror. We're definitely not taking Rebirth and switching to white. That would just be incredibly stupid of us. I think Plague Mirror is slightly better than Violent Wound, even though we have Grim Affliction. Since we have a big Spinebiter, we like to have creatures out. And he's an infect guy in himself. Yeah, I think Plague Mirror is just going to be the pick. We'll probably get something like the Unnatural Predation back, or maybe, like, Nested Ghoul is not horrible in a deck that has Triumph, because he's got a lot of power and might be able to generate an extra little beater. But yeah, not incredibly happy first picking Plague Mirror, but I think it's something we got to do here. I am, however, happy getting Spread the Sickness right after it. I'm not sure we're going to end up getting anything from this pack, but it's possible we get something like Septic Rats. I'm going to go ahead and hide the Artillerize. I don't see a reason that we're ever going to splash. I'm not going to hide the Volt Scourge or the Deathside Cobra yet, because they might stay in the deck. But yeah, I don't really see a reason to splash red at the moment. We did not get the Razor Swine or anything back to edge us in that direction. It's interesting, the guy... I'm trying to think what the guy to our right is playing. I mean, we saw a late Guess Verdict, meaning I don't know how they could pass that. Like, I guess if they were playing black, we saw late Artillerize. I mean, we didn't see a lot of blue, so it's highly likely they're playing blue. I mean, we saw like one Vapor Snag. We didn't see any Spire Monitors or anything, so they're probably playing blue. We did see a decent amount of white, so I don't think that Rebirth is going to get put to good use right away. Here we got Rotwolf. I think that, while Morbid Plunder's pretty awesome, I think Rotwolf is just the better choice. He's one of the best possible beaters you can get in this deck. And, like if I take the Plunder, like we might end up getting Scourge Servant late, which isn't awful. If I take Rotwolf here, we're probably not going to see another Rotwolf, and he's just that strong. Even though I don't have a lot of pump yet, I could end up getting, probably will end up getting that Unnatural Predation back. And that's from a draft earlier. And wow, Burn the Impure. Well, we got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Infect guys already. So now we got to decide between Flintermite and I think Viridian Claw is a little bit stronger than the Carapace in Infect. Like, Carapace is really good, but this at least allows us to have some defense and also prevents blocking. So I think it's that much stronger than the Carapace. And it's also 1 to equip, obviously. That really is an asset for it. If we could have gotten a Viridian Emissary, now we have an Artillerized and the Burn the Impure, but no reason to, I think, take the Burn and try and splash. I think Claw's strong enough that we're just going to go with it. Hopefully get, like, Flintermite later. Yeah, we would have had an amazing Metalcraft deck. Well, Scourge Servant here is fine. He needs another Infect Body. No way we can really make use of the Wellspring or anything like that. There's been like a Wellspring in every pack. I think another Scourge Servant. Again, not the most amazing guy, but not the worst possible solution in the world. And he has another body. I think he's a little bit better than Sphere of the Suns. Again, we don't really care too much about ramp, though we are, once you're getting Scourge Servant, you're loading yourself up on big guys. So a Sphere or something, or a Mirror might help. But yeah, I think he's just that much better than Sphere in our deck that we'll take him first. Pista Strike, Moronmel, or Flintermite. Well, we have 1 equipment. We don't have any pump yet, but we're probably going to get a couple. With a Natural Predation, we might get another late Moronmetal or Pista Strike out of that other pack. So I think just taking the Flintermite. Like, we probably won't be playing the non-infect guys at this moment, but it's possible. Yeah, I'll just go with Flintermite here. I think he's the best option. And there's a pump spell. And, ooh, wow, the Violent Wound and the Natural Predation came back. Well, Wound's that much better than Predation, and we might even get another Bronze Medal later. It's definitely a Wound is the pick. Trying to think. I guess we could hate the Crush if we don't put a Sword. I don't really see any reason to ever really hate Vivisection, because if people want them, they already have one. And I'm not playing Tango Golem ever, so no, just take the rare here. All these are useless. Yeah, I think Viridian Claw is, I'm just thinking back to that pick, I think it's better than Copper Carapace, though I'm not 100% sure about that. And we got the Pista Strike instead of, I think there was a Flintermite and Rod's Battle. So what we really need in this deck is probably a couple more early bodies. Like, we're kind of hurting for 3 drops. Like Assist Bearers, Contagious Gnome wouldn't be so bad, and then maybe a couple Grasps or 2, and I think we have a decent deck that has some late game power. And a decent early game. I guess we could have massive late game power with a Triumphant Slagworm coming over. Not much you can do against that. But I don't think we're going to go that route, so I'm going to go ahead and hide him. Platinum Empyrean. And like nothing. I'm probably just going to go ahead and take the Empyrean here. I guess Palladium Mirror could be decent since it can ramp us to Spinebiter or Scourge Servants. Imperium doesn't do anything against us since, you know, we don't really care about life totals. Which means it's less chance that somebody at the table is playing, in fact, that Imperium could actually be decent in our deck, since him in conjunction with Triumph is a good finisher, and it allows us to draw into Triumph. Is that much better than Palladium Mirror that can get us to Scourge Servant and Spinebiter quicker? I think Palladium Mirror is just going to be better. As fun as Platinum Imperium looks. Yeah, I think Palladium Mirror is clearly the pick. I'd rather bust out my guys, and as I said, we don't care about... God, I go on these weird trends where I just see the same rare over and over. Like, I think I saw like 5 Horde Smelters. I saw 7 Molten Steel Dragons in like 15 drafts. And then I saw 5 Horde Smelters recently, and this is like the 6th or 7th Tempered Steel I've seen in the last 10 drafts, which is very, very odd. And our white deck would have been godlike, it looks like, at this point. Grasp of Darkness is clearly the pick for us here. Fortunately, we're not going to table anything. Yeah, these packs are looking very weak for us, unfortunately. Wow. It's interesting, because the person to our right, I don't think was playing green, like, based on getting the late Scorns and things like that. And we didn't ship any green back earlier. And I don't think they were playing black based on when we got Guess Verdict. But, and we got a what, second pick Grim Affliction? So, maybe it was third pick Grim. I'm trying to remember now. It's just, yeah, I think we just had a lot of bad luck with these last few packs. I'm trying to think if Strider Harness or Copper Mirror is going to be better. I mean, we might get a Strider Harness later. So taking Copper Mirror now might just be best, but I don't know if I want to play Copper Mirror. Like Palladium, we have a Palladium Mirror and a Plague Mirror. We don't necessarily need a ramp to 4. I guess I'll just take the Harness for now. Well, I guess we're taking Engulfing Slagworm. Don't have enough artifacts really to make Throne of Geth great yet. Slagworm again in conjunction. Like, I mean, he can finish the game on his own just because you can't attack through it, and it gives us time to draw into Triumph of the Horde, so I think he's the right pick. This is another incredibly weak pack for us. Wow. I mean, Rustic here is the pick. Again, works okay with Triumph because it's a body. And it's not a bad card in its own, but it's just interesting to see no Infect guys. So Trigon or Blight Mamba? I have been impressed with Trigon more and more, for whatever reason, as the format changed and added the new sets, but I think Blight Mamba is just going to be a little bit stronger. Works well with our equipment. And we got a lot of stuff to do with mana later in the game that I don't think Trigon's going to be that amazing, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Mamba. And continuing to get a whole lot of nothing. Jury's Archers, is this guy going to be worth it? A sideboard versus anything? Maybe, I guess. I don't think we can play anything else. So there could be an argument for taking Soul Parry because it's better to sideboard against us, but I think Archers is a fine sideboard against us when we have a lot of Glistener Elves and Flenser and it's something we don't want, and we can use. Like they might not want to see it against us. Infiltration Lens or Moriok Replica. They both serve around the same purpose. I might just go ahead and take the Lens. It makes use of our little guys later. Like, I'd rather play a Lens than like a Strider Harness, I think. And Moriok Replica, while good, we don't have like ways to get him back. And he has another body for the Triumph, but at least the Lens draws us into... Yeah, I think he serves the same, as I said, the same purpose as Moriok Replica. And he can at least get a little bit of damage through. Not boarding them in, but, you know, probably just take the Sea Strider here. Yeah, I think it's better against us, and we're not going to play another Archers. We probably are not even playing one. Gonna hide the probe for now. This is one of those decks where I might just run 16 land. I mean, we got 5 cards been cast for 1, 7 for 2. I mean, we do have some higher up stuff, but we got like Palladium Mirror and Plague Mirror also. And we got enough action early that we should be okay with just a little bit of land. Yeah, not playing any of these, so get rid of the first striker. Get rid of the guy that can make use of Wellsprings. I think it basically comes down to, do we play Striderhearse or 17th land? If we're playing something like Slagworm, I mean, maybe it comes down to Slagworm in the 17th land, because we expect the game to be over by the time Slagworm becomes relevant. I mean, he would make the most sense to cut if we were to run just 16 land. I think our deck is weak enough that we might have to. Let's see what we got going. I'm leaving the Death's Head Cobra out for now. Yeah, I mean, this guy can end the game when he comes out, but he also doesn't... He also doesn't immediately win the game for us. Like, we still die to flyers and things like that. Like, if we took him out, though, we'd be running 17 land. I mean, we could make an argument maybe we could put in Volt Scourge and run back to 16. Just because we'd be able to easily cast Volt Scourge. He's something that could at least trade early. We're a little weak to flyers. Problem is, he doesn't really do anything for overall strategy. Or we could just put in the probe and run 16 land, just to try and get to our, our better cards faster. So basically these are our options. Or we just go with this and run 17. Like, if we run this in 17 land, that feels like it's a little bit too much land because of the Plague Mirror and the Palladium Mirror. But we don't generally want to be tapping him for mana. Like, we can often be swinging with him early, especially with the equipment. So maybe 17 land in this is fine. And if I put Probe in, I mean, we'd be going down to like a 39-card deck. Basically at 18 life. If we go up against another Infect strategy, sideboarding out a land for that, or if we know we're on the draw, maybe sideboarding out a land for the Probe is right, and then I can just start with 17 land and then take one out for Probe if we're on the draw. Or even take one out for Volt Scourge if we're playing against a deck with a lot of Impaler Strikes or anything. Notice we didn't see any Impaler Strikes in the draft, so the guy to our right is probably playing blue and grab those. But if we play against a deck like, that needs flyer protection, Volt Scourge can definitely come in. Probably for a land. I think right now, though, like, you got enough equipment and things to use mana. Like that, this. I'm just going to go with the standard 17 land and see how it is. We also need, I think I'm just going 9-8 with forests. It recommends the other way, but I think I'd rather make sure to get these guys online as fast as we can. Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way just because of that. Like, we don't necessarily want to be casting these on the first turns either, though Guest Verdict right away isn't bad. Alright, I will see you for round 1.